Welcome back. It's 1935 maybe, so the 8th Academy Awards are about to begin, and by this stage, if you've been paying attention, you know how we do. We watch the 3 nominated shorts, beginning with the official winner, and choose who old Ashley thinks should have gotten the little statue. Ari, now, would you just look at these titles? You know, I think we're in for a rough go of it today, but I have certainly been surprised in the past. Remember that one with the weird elf who liked to dunk donuts? That was alright, so maybe we will have another interesting short. So let's begin where we mean to go forward with Disney's winning entry, 3 Orphan Kittens. Wellity, 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 what can I say about 3 Orphan Kittens? No, seriously, what can I say? This was the Oscar winner, and yeah, it's fine. It has the story you expect it to have, as in there is no story. 3 kittens during a blizzard are just thrown over a wall in a bag. When they get out, they sneak into the house nearby and cuteness ensues. They run about getting into mischief and find what can only be meekly described as a racially insensitive and very, very off its time doll. It also has the classic mammy caricature seen in many other films and shorts, such as the later Tom and Jerry cartoons, as well as classic movies like A Wonderful Life. I won't get into it here, but it's something to be aware of, and as I continue this series, I have a sneaking suspicion this stereotype is going to pop up again and again, so hooray! The mammy character catches our little kittens and gets ready to throw them out on their ass where they belong, but luckily they are saved by the little girl of the house who treats them as if they are her own babies. If you want a more fun cartoon where a cat is treated like a baby, I recommend Tom and Jerry. It's a lot more fun than this. The biggest sin this cartoon makes though is having a piano set piece, which I just hate so much, and unfortunately I have a sneakily suspicion that will also be a recurring theme for the next 20 or so years of Oscar shorts, so yay! This cartoon though, it's decently paced I have to admit, and didn't feel as long as I was expecting, but it was generally just a whatever affair. Disney cartoons around this time were being used to test for and practice techniques for the studio's upcoming feature-length movie debut, Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs. This short has some very impressive shots and animation throughout. The biggest standout is this part where we see the kittens running through rooms and we have this really cool 3D effect happening, which would have had to have been hand animated, frame by frame. It's not just the walls, which to be honest would be more tedious than difficult, but the actual furniture like this table that must have been a real pain in the posterior to get right. And you know what? They didn't even get it right. If you look closely, you can see the table goes through the wall here. Ha! Not so good now, are you, Disney? Think you're better than me with your fancy drawing and your rubbish animators? The sequence again with the cat chasing the feather is just so impressive, with the different speeds he goes and the background being detailed and having to be animated frame by frame. It really is a marvel. All the backgrounds in general are very beautiful, with lots of nice little touches such as reflections on the ground, and here the fire background, you really get the warmth from it. It just feels so very cozy. You know, they're all just very nice. It's a nice cartoon and the animation is incredible, but I can't really recommend it to anyone today. I just don't think in our fast-paced world it would hold anyone's attention, not with all our modern cassette tapes, Spino books, FM radio cards, and teletext keeping us all so busy. The cartoon did get a sequel titled More Kittens, and the best thing I can say about More Kittens is that it really made me appreciate their first cartoon. The cartoon begins with the 3 kittens being kicked out of the house, and then time and space elongate and each minute felt as if it was a lifetime on the earth, and you fall out of all thought and consciousness, until finally you realize it has ended and you can begin to live life again. In other words, boring. No interesting animation experimentation to give me something to talk about, just boring daytime backgrounds and new animal friends to bother, like this sleepy dog, a turtle for some reason, a fly, and of course our friend Mordecai. Don't waste your time with this one. That's my job. It's my job to waste my time, and if you appreciate me wasting my time, like and subscribe. Go on, you know you want to. Moving on to our next cartoon, The Calico Dragon. The Calico Dragon is a Happy Harmonies cartoon short directed by our friend Rudolph Ising for the MGM Cartoon Studio. This was a real palate cleanser after more kittens. The animation isn't on par with Disney, but it does look much more interesting. Unfortunately, I only found a low quality version, but I imagine in its day it really pippity popped. The cartoon begins at night in bed with a young girl who is less annoying than that brat from the 3 Orphan Kittens, reading a story to her toys. When she finally falls asleep, her toys pop to life and think they are braver than the knights they just heard about in the story and decide to go face the Calico Dragon themselves. We have lots of songs from everybody along the way, and eventually the dragon is defeated by the cute little black terrier. They all fall and fumble around as the background morphs back into the bed and the little girl wakes up. Off the bat, or in this case, bed. What I like is the overall design. It's very Yoshi's Woolly World looking, with all the characters and backgrounds made out of cloth. The background is the girl's bed blanket, and as they travel it morphs into the scenery very nicely. The music as well is very good. Very Looney Tunes and lots of big fun sound effects. I usually hate songs, but the standout one here is sung by the Calico Dragon, who by the way is very King Ghidorah.
I'm a dragon, you big sea. All the kids are scared of me. Taters and spinach ain't my lunch. I eat ragdolls by the bunch. Beware! Beware! I'm the Calico Dragon.
The turnaround for this cartoon was ridiculously short, with the studio dates confirmed to be January 17th to February 14th, 1935, and the cartoon first being released on March 30th. It takes me anywhere from 8 months to 8 years to finish one of my cartoons, and I don't have near the animation quality of this short. A good cartoon, but nothing mind-blowing, so let's hope the next one saves the day. Who killed Cock Robin? A little behind the curtains with old Ashley. I am a teacher for adults, and occasionally I do a game called Who Killed Robin? Well, I say Coke, but I know it's actually Robin Cock. So I'm very interested to see what this cartoon is about. It is based on an English nursery rhyme that is very long, but let's not waste any more time and delve into what I hope to be a fun cartoon, because my goodness, we need one right now more than we ever had before. Ooh, matron. There's a lot going on here. The cartoon begins with Cock Robin serenading the returning Jenny Wren, who is literally just Mae West, the sexiest sex bot to ever pour a cup of tea. The poor cock, who I will just call Robin from here on, gets hit with a bow and arrow just as he's rizzing up Jenny Mae West Wren. The police immediately and brutally round up the usual suspects, who are a blackbird who gets particularly vicious treatment by the cops. I wonder why. And yes, the blackbird is characterized in a particular way. There is also the sparrow, who refuses to talk and looks like a real scumbag. And finally we get the cuckoo bird, who is just cuckoo. They are all put on trial immediately by an owl who wants to know who did it. Huh? Get it? The lawyer is a parrot who just wants them to talk. Get it? Again, the blackbird gets a viciously uncomfortable constant beating from the police. Even back then they knew this was a problem. Well, I guess they didn't see it as a problem since they treat it as a joke. The sparrow fights back, getting some justice, and the cuckoo, well, mentally ill jokes it seems were very much on the table back then too. Sexy Jenny Mae West Wren turns up demanding justice and a hanging, but the hanging first. She seduces the owl and the jury, who all agree that since they can't decide who killed him, they should just hang all 3 of our suspects. Before the grave miscarriage of justice, however, happens, we discover the true killer. Love. That's right, it was Cupid's bow that shot Robin, and he's not actually dead, so no hanging for anyone. Hooray! Woohoo! Sorry about all that very unnecessary police brutality, but well, all's well that ends well, I guess. This must have been a popular short at the time, because it makes a cameo in Alfie Hitchcock's Sabotage, so that's pretty neat. So you're probably wondering, was this exactly like how I play the game with my class? And the answer is no, of course not. What are you, crazy? You cuckoo? I will say though that, ignoring some of the controversial parts, this was a much better watch than the other 2 shorts this year. I think it definitely gets this week's AshTube. The animation was beautiful, the character designs were all great, Jenny Wren was back, and the music was really fun. So that's it for this edition of This Thing That I Do. So make sure to comment below your favourite, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment for more of old Ashley watching old cartoons. Boy, that video sure had everything, didn't it? Cute little pussies, fun toys you play with before bed, and big cock. Oh my god! Like and subscribe.